Donna Hopkins Pro Football Plus, the second week of training camp. Here with one of my favorite players, number 25, Benjamin St-Juste. And as the players got on me last year, your teammates, the secondary, they said his name is Juice. So
it is.
Hey, you know, they always like messing with me. But second week of training camp, how do you see this defense right now?
Honestly, I feel like we haven't had to change that many things from last year. All we got to do is just start fast. That's been the motto for the whole offseason. Start fast. Because we obviously, like from the last 2 years, you kind of see it. Like we start a little bit slow, but then we pick it up and then we're really good. So what we want to do is we just want to come out with a bang week one and just stay like that the whole season, all the way until the playoff. Because we got all the pieces. We're grown now. You know, we used to be that young team. You know,
yeah.
But now we're a little bit older. We know the chemistry. We know how to play with each other. Like, you know what we have to do. So you know, it's very easy. So that's what we want to do. Start fast, finish strong.
Yeah, you talked about the chemistry just now. Talk about the chemistry of your group in that secondary, the back of the defense, because you got some new people, some guys. Emmanuel Forbes, he's new, but you all have so much talent back there. But just talk about how you all are gelling together.
I think one of the main things for a group to really have like a good chemistry and really like feed off each other is like to just be open-minded and humble enough to learn to know that even though you're in the NFL, even though you went first round or sixth round, seventh round, you still have so much more to learn. So I think everyone is eager to learn. Everyone listens. When a vet talks, you know, they listen. We ask questions. Everyone wants to be better. There's no one that thinks they're above the group.
Yeah.
So I think that's the beauty of our group, because we're consistently going to progress throughout the season because everybody wants to learn. We're constantly like trying to feed off each other. Okay, you're going to do this, I'm going to do this, and all that stuff. It's never, oh, I'm going to do my own thing, you do your own thing, and all that stuff. We always trying to see, hey, how can we come together and like, you know, be the best, like, you know, unit? How can I help you do this and all that stuff? It's never like just an individual thing. And I think that's the beauty of this group this year.
It makes it easier too, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about you. Last year, talk about, you know, before you got hurt, how did you see yourself in the first part of the season of last year?
I saw myself as someone that was very versatile, you know, that can just come in and help the team. Obviously, they wanted, you know, Kendall, William Jackson on the outside, and they were like, hey, where can we plug in, you know, Juice, you know, so he can play, because he's good, you know, he can cover and all that stuff. So they're like, all right, can you learn nickel? And I was like, hey, as long as I get on the field, it doesn't matter if it's nickel, linebacker, safety, whatever, I'm gonna learn it. And I learned it, and I was able to help the team. And then I got moved back to corner, and I kind of started like, you know, being comfortable around that responsibility of, you know, you're going to be guarding the best receiver, and then we're going to be able to do a whole bunch of different trap, zone, blitz on the other side.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we have. Like, that's the beauty of what we have this year, because we have more depth. So then we're going to be able to do that. So in games, I might be matched up against somebody else, and then Emmanuel Forbes or Quan, whatever, is going to be matched up against somebody else. So now we can do a lot more than just like when, you know, let's say one of us go down, I get injured or whatever, then we're back to kind of like, okay, let's just go with the base package.
How do we figure this out? We can't really throw any twists and turns into it.
We can't do too much, but now we can do a lot because a lot of people can play different positions.
Well, talk about them different positions. You, like you said, you started inside, then you got moved back to cornerback. Mm-hmm. How difficult was that for you to make those constant transitions in games and in situations like that?
I think like physically I had all the skills to do it. Like, you know, I can cover on the inside and cover on the outside and all that stuff. I think it's really more of a mindset thing, you know, because the game is different on the inside and on the outside. You know, the routes that are being run by the receiver are very different. You got to fit the run game, which is not something that you usually do when you're on the outside and all that stuff. And but, you know, after a year, honestly, stuff becomes second nature. I'm a fast learner. I learn fast. I really, my transition is always smooth. So like now, like it doesn't matter if it's one play at nickel, one play at corner. You know, I can do it. And what the beauty of it is now I know what the whole play is going on.
Yeah.
You know, before that, I only knew corner. But now when we call a certain zone coverage, I'm like, okay, well, I played nickel, so I know where he's going to be. So I know where my help is going to be, so I can kind of jump the play and go to the spot where I need to be. Because now I know both positions.
Which makes you really valuable, even more so, which helps your game because you've played both. And like you said, you're seeing things before they almost happen.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's basically what it is. The more you learn on the defense, that's why the safety is usually like, the guy that's like safety and linebacker is usually the guy that's like the smartest on the defense, because they have to learn everything, because they have to play with everyone. The linebacker plays with the nickel and has some calls with the safeties and even with the corner. Then the safety can see the whole play, so he knows everything. Like he knows everything. He knows where people are going to be. So me learning, the nickel position and like even the corner and all that stuff, like it just helped my game. It helped my value.
Well, I was getting ready to say it helped your value. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you like the most? I mean, do you like the safety position or the corner? Is it one that you like over the other?
I think they offer different things that are like exciting for me. Like at nickel, I love the fact that I could blitz, and get sacks. I love the fact that I can play a little bit more zone and kind of melt with the quarterback
and more physical, right?
Yeah, and bait him to like throwing me the ball and getting an interception. But I love like just being on the island on the outside corner. Like just being one-on-one. It's you against that receiver, like no help. Like it's. You just got to do what you got to do, and it's you kind of get those prime time, like it's a little bit more magnified, like on the outside. It's a little bit more of a spotlight when you're going wide receiver one on the outside.
Yeah.
It's third down, it's one-on-one against him. So they offer different things, and I love the fact that I can do both.
That's a blessing to be able to do both, two things. Most of the time, it's hard to get one under your belt. How do you see yourself this year as far as what you want to accomplish? I know staying healthy is one of them, but what goals have you set for yourself this year in elevating your game to the next step? Because you've elevated each year so far that you've been here.
Yeah. Like you said, I mean, staying healthy is the main thing. Sometimes you can control, sometimes you just can't control it. But for me, if I can have like a whole season on the field, like there should be no reason I couldn't make All-Pro. I was making the strides for it last year, playing good. And this year I'm gonna finish the whole season, even with the playoffs. So definitely my name's gonna be on that list of All-Pro DBs. Most definitely.
You better listen. You hear what Juice said? His name is gonna be there. That's what I'm talking about. So what did you do? I'm always looking to have people to know you all a little better off the field of play. So during the off season this year, what did you do?
I would say the biggest thing I did this offseason, I went back home for 8 days. I was hosting my annual youth development football camp called Back to Origins, the biggest football camp in the whole country of Canada.
Wow.
We had 625 kids. I brought about 10 NFL coaches, like some of my good friends, to come coach. Derek Forrest, safety here, was there to coach. William Bradley King was there too. The kids loved it. That's something that back home we don't usually get that. It's very rare for NFL players to come back and do camps like that and offer, lessons, techniques, and a full day of activity. And also it was very inclusive because we had like about 150 girls that signed up also.
Wow. I guess you were shocked by that too, right?
I know, yeah. I mean, it's such a small area. Well, I'm from Montreal, but like the kids travel from everywhere to come down for that camp, and I love it. It just inspires them and motivates them. They get to ask for signature, question, all that stuff. It keeps their dream alive. So that's what I did. I would say that's the highlight of my summer.
So out of your camp and everything that you started back in Canada, what is the main message that you want to deliver to the kids?
Main message, I would say that once you make it, it's so hard, especially like not only just here, but like back home, like it's even less than 0.111% that play. I can count on my hands the amount of players that made it pro football. So once you make it, please give back, give back to those kids, make the path a little bit easier for them, because it's not easy. We don't have the same resources, we don't have the same recruiting and all that stuff. We don't have the same opportunities to make it to the pro. So once you make it, give back as much as possible, because representation matters. That's why I always say, if you say, like, let's say you say you want to be the best reporter, best female reporter in the game, but if there's
think I am?
Huh? You probably are. I mean, that's the mindset you gotta have. But if you never saw someone make it, or you never have no role models, and you say like, hey, I want to be this, and people are gonna be like, okay, well, who made it? Who made it in your situation? No one. That's kind of hard for a kid to like, that has low self-esteem, and that's not ready yet. So me, when I bring all those NFL guys and I coach them, and then they ask me questions, it gives them like representation matter. They can be like, hey,
you give them hope.
Exactly, because then when they say like, I want to make it to the NFL, then people can't say, oh, you're not gonna make it, because they're like, no, Benjamin St-Juste is from Montreal. He's from where I'm from. I can make it. If he made it, So that's what I want to keep doing.
Now, and if anybody was to ask who Benjamin St-Juste, the Juice, is, who would you say that person is?
I would say he is someone that don't accept average in anything in life. Always strive for greatness. You might not obtain greatness, but you're going to be excellent at doing it. So that's what I'm chasing. Someone that's very original. Someone that's very genuine and authentic. You know, never going to get a fake conversation, a fake statement, a fake argument, or whatever with Benjamin. So someone authentic, original, and what's it called? Yeah, that's about it. Honestly, hey,
I like that.
Less is more. Less
is more. And again, looking into the camera, could you tell everybody who you are again?
I'm Benjamin St-Juste, number 25, defensive back for the Washington Commanders.
Donna Hopkins, more Pro Football Plus from training camp, because we've got a lot more of training camp.